Well, it's that time now to review headlines on today's newspapers with the Ombudsman of This Day and Arise Media Group. And This Day newspaper, Limited Group Executive Director Kayode Komolafe. Good morning, Mr. KK.
Good morning, Mr. KK.
Steve, good morning.
You know how excited we get.
How are you
on Sunday Tonic program. Steve, Ayorinde.
All right, so let's
begin.
With This Day on Sunday, the newspaper of record. Let's take it from top to bottom. The window story. China to Okonjo Iweala. UF tariffs will inflict serious harm on developing countries. Says Trump's tariffs bringing enormous uncertainty, instability to the world. To file a lawsuit with WTO over the levies. That's China responding. Even though China is also, reciprocating, as it were, but then he says it is Trump's tariffs and that they will petition Okonjo Iweala because they think that will affect developing countries. Can you see how, how Africa is getting, or developing countries are getting stray bullets for the fight between two giants? Under the masthead, the story is on page 39 of today's This Day. Tinubu, Atiku, Sanwo-Olu, Mba, others mourn ex-Super Eagles coach Christian Chukwu Okoro, who passed on at 74 yesterday, I believe. Chairman, he used to be known as captain of the old Green Eagles and Rangers International of Nigeria. Everybody is celebrating his greatness, an icon of the Nigerian football landscape. The other story below it, in a reconciliatory move, PDP governors summon emergency meeting of all party organs. That story will be found on page 5 of today's paper. And yet, on politics, the lead story says at APC's leaders' visit to Buhari, Ganduje says Atiku, El-Rufai's coalition talks doomed to fail. And that is also strengthened by the cover picture, strategic consultations ahead of 2027, showing the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, with Ganduje, who's the chairman of the APC in Daura, which KK has become a mecca of some sort for anybody either seeking power or trying to retain power. We know that Atiku, the former vice president, with the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, I think Tambua was with them or somebody else, to consult with the former president. It's all about 2027, isn't it? But then APC says we wouldn't let you have the last word with Buhari. We too is still a leader in our party and the immediate president on the platform of our party. Last but not the least, federal government security situation in Nigeria grossly misrepresented at U.S. congressional hearing. That's on page 6. I think that would be a very tough and debatable one, that it is misrepresented. But we see that there is resurgence, practically all over. Plateau is no longer at ease. Borno, so much so that the governor of the state is saying that my state is being overrun, by insurgents and that they are taking territories again. We have had, spokespersons of government to say that, no, it's not as bad as you're talking about. But what could be worse if 50 can be killed in one day, in one single town? What can be worse if everybody is talking about kidnappings and terror and everything? What can be worse if the official vehicle of the National Security Advisor can be stolen, from the FCT, and then we are, putting on manhunt to, the situation, in my opinion, KK, looks dire, and we shouldn't sugarcoat it, that it's not as bad as people think. So if Americans are saying that, hey, what's going on there? It's because that they have concerns for human lives, as we do. And I think that our government functionaries would need to do a lot more than they are currently doing. KK, over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe let's begin with the passing, of a national hero, Chairman Christian Chukwu, who was a captain of the national team and later a coach of the team. President Chukwu's passing is not just a loss to the footballing community, but like I said, it was an authentic national hero. Here was a man in his youth, use his skill, his energy to bring glory, to Nigeria. And then if you are defining heroism in the proper context, those are the people who should be in the pantheon of heroes. So it's a loss to Nigerian nation that a patriot, a genuine one, and that I just passed. Tributes, have been important. I think readers of newspaper also should check particularly the tribute, paid to Chairman Chukwu by his comrade in the field of football, mathematical Shegun Odegbami. He said another co-player, the goalkeeper, Emmanuel Gala, was the one who informed him, shortly after the obituary was announced. So our condolences to the family of Chairman Chukwu. And like I said, actually, it is condolences to Nigeria, because what happened yesterday was a departure of an authentic national hero.
National hero,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Do we take the window story, an economic story before we come to the usual political stories, Now, I think differently. I'm afraid I think differently. Still, we said that poor countries are that were having collateral damage. No, it's not. Trade war is a global thing. It's not just a matter between America and China. It's between America and the whole world, because you're talking of the whole, global, economic system. And in this wise, we must particularly reflect on the difficult situation in which the WTO, has found itself, being the moderator, in matters of international trade, and the negotiation, of tariffs, So what China has done in this case is to report to perhaps the institution that could be called the arbiter in matters of international trade, which is the WTO. And in this particular matter, I think I have a lot of sympathy for our sister, the DG of Dr. Ngozi Weala. Okonjo-Iweala, because in this matter, it will need. She will need not just a very rich, economic acumen, given her background in the various economic appointments she had held before the WTO job, both nationally and internationally. But also, we also need a lot of diplomatic skills, and good enough, don't forget, like she reminded us when she was speaking to the This Day Award, that people often forget that she was also at a point Nigerian foreign minister.
Yes.
So I think she would need not just economic acumen, but also a lot of diplomatic skills to be able to, manage the situation, which promises to be a very serious crisis, unless unless President Trump, reverses, the trend. But even there's some experts are already making a forecast that even if it stops now, that the damage already done, will take some time, for it to be reversed. Quickly, we can take both the PDP story as well as the APC story, together, as political stories, and I think you have it on the front pages of other similar, other newspapers, But it's expected, that at a time like this, politicians are warming up and making alignments, and trying to maybe reconfigure their organizational, pedestals, But we should not be tired, of reminding them that at a point like this, it's not just only politics we should be talking about, we should also be talking about policies, So if people want to, legitimately as constitutional, to take over, to be in charge from 2027, or want to remain, to be still be in charge in 2027, it should be on the basis of policy. But we don't see much of policy debates, going on. For instance, given what we have been, this tariff war, every country, is going back to the drawing board to have a rethink of their economic, fundamentals, strategy, and the rest. What are the different perspectives from Nigeria, for instance, on how we cope with the new, the changes in the world order and the place of Nigeria in it. So I think that some of the headlines should also reflect that, not just those people who want to become president or in 2027 or who want to remain as president, but that what are the policy choices? What are the different ways of looking at the problem? What are the what are the different solutions that people have? But you find that there is a vacuum of that. That's lacuna, in the whole thing. It makes it impoverishes the politics. So it should not just be all about politics, but it should also have a debate of policies. Not all about politics. Like Simon Kolawole would say, it is all politics. It should not be all politics, but it should also be about a policy, beginning with even. Do we have a consensus of what is development? Which is the purpose? When people go to vote, they want to vote because they want improvement, in their conditions, of life, and that is, people want to vote because they want, the country to be developed by whoever is managing it. What's the definition of development from the perspectives of the various political forces?
All this should come to play. I always advocate for policy, Mr. Komolafe, which I think is really the bedrock of everything. We need to talk about development and all of that. But should we move over to this day's style?
Yes. Please do.
So we can take other papers as well if we have time. The lead story, cover picture there. Famous looks celebrating women of power and impact. And mommy, thank God I made the list. It has Kanye has 5 women here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women, and we have Amina Mena in Odio Mimone. And Ojiokwe in Ilare, she is actually phenomenal. She's a great designer. We also have Nkiru Animodu in Christopher John Rogers. And then Diola Bali in Lisa Folawiyo. Eva Bade in Ejiro Amos Tafari. And I really, really love this look on Adesomo Edo Osage. And I'd like to read the editor's cover note, which I thought was brilliant. She wrote, if the 2025 Arise Gala and Award Ceremony was a tribute to 80 formidable women who are reshaping the world, then the red carpet was its glittering love letter to fashion, a runway of ambition, legacy, and unapologetic glamour set against the grand backdrop of the Eko Convention Center in Lagos. The night wasn't just about powerful speeches and lifetime achievements. It was a visual masterclass on how to dress like you run the world, rule the world as well. Kachi, you were there, and I really actually did love your yellow ensemble. What was that you were wearing?
That was Andrea Iyama.
It was beautiful
as
well.
I love that
But
outfit.
the women all looked really glamorous, and the inside notes there, you could see that Kanye did take out time to pick, some of her favorite looks, and they were all really glamorous. Really, kudos to Kanye.
Kudos to Kanye again.
For my ignorance, what
Yes.
is this? All you ladies, what is this about?
What? So this I just read is a celebration of the looks,
The fashion.
the fashion looks that made the red carpets stand out. All the women that really impressed Kanye as
who are
a
editor's
fashion
pitch.
editor.
The
Editor's piece.
Yes.
That's the word I was looking for.
Well, I said that, or you weren't
Yeah.
paying attention.
She's broken it down into different segments.
Before we go to other
Queen
papers,
Nation, headgear.
By the way.
Before we go to other paper, let me say kudos to the editor of this day,
Yes.
executive editor of this day's style. Kanye again for a very great edition, and
Yes.
readers should look out for
Yes, it's
this edition
beautiful.
it's a collector's item. Yeah.
Very soon, Steve, you would have to explain the kudos that you're talking about. But kudos to Kanye.
No, I said kudos.
No, he's saying
I said kudos.
No, he said kudos after.
For clarity, I said kudos to Kanye.
When she was here, right?
Yeah.
But she wants you to
Yeah.
explain your
Yeah.
kudos.
I mean, I love the word kudos.
Can we go to other parts because of time?
Well done.
All right.
Really,
Can we go
congratulations
to-
to all the
Shall we go into the Sunday Tribune? Yes, we can do
and
that.
Telegraph, do Tribune, then we can add that so that.
So just for
Because
we're out
of time,
Okay,
yeah.
so beginning with the story at the top of the paper, Nigerians have no business with poverty. That is from Obasanjo. That's going to be definitely one interesting article. You can find that on page 4. Moving over to the Awoism, Badegesin presents all you need to know about Awolowo's philosophy. I think this takes us straight to the heart of history, and it's definitely going to be another worthy read on page 9. And the major story on the paper today, exposed ISWA plans to establish bases in Plateau and Bauchi. Military arrest members, intercepts weapons, terrorists kill family of 3. Attacks on Plateau have economic undertone, SSG says that. And the federal government reaffirms commitment to security, religious freedom of citizens in the midst of U.S. misrepresentation. I think the insecurity is still a really big topic. You can find that on page 2 and 11.
Let's go to
Vanguard.
Vanguard
Sunday
and
Vanguard.
Weekend
Do
Trust.
you want to go through that? I mean, the lead story there, genocide in Plateau, really topical. Inside story of plot to grab land, wipe out natives. I believe that's the governor saying that. The riders, killings continue, 250 dead since 2023. Ex-Milad identifies attackers, says they hide weapons inside rocks. Now, how difficult environment aids killers of natives, says Senator Plang. Nobody can take our land for cows. I mean, this is a big topic, Mr. Komolafe. This is a topic that, I'd like for you to discuss on the Sunday Vanguard. Do you have any?
Just very quickly from the Weekend Trust, opposition coalition should worry Tinubu. That's Ndume speaking. And then an important one there, Tinubu spends 59 days in 8 trips to France. If you break that down, that's like a month a year. That's like, 2 months in total in just France alone. That sort of a thing can get people slightly worried and, it's a bit concerning. Why France all the time? Why that length of time, regularly? So it may be a bit concerning, but that's the choice of the president, isn't it? KK, over to you.
Yes. Let's check quickly the security stories, and which we have, especially in the front pages of all the newspapers today, because like you, both of you, have rightly said, it shows that it's the issue of the moment, and this is a huge challenge, to the defense and security authorities. Like we always say that, the Constitution gives, the duty of the government, as defined by the Constitution, is primarily the first duty is that of security. That we are having this resurgence, it shows that the security and defense authorities will just have to rise to this. But in doing so, we must also acknowledge, that from when you also get the briefings, that ostensibly in response, to this, the public outcry from the defense headquarters also shows that it's not as if the security and defense authorities are sleeping. They are also, combating this, and in the process, losing, soldiers, security agents, police, in trying to ward up. But what the climate, as portrayed by the newspaper, is just to show that, a lot more needs to be done for people to feel secure. I deliberately, because on the front page of this day too, there's also a security story, But I'm afraid I think differently from what Steve was saying about this hearing, the congressional hearing. I think I think in this regard, I think we must be very careful. I think to me, it's totally misplaced. We have security problems like we are discussing. It's our business, Me, I object to the idea of saying that you go to American Congress to go and discuss Nigerian security problem. America has its own huge problem, and nobody, no American goes to any country, the parliament of any country to go and, put it, And in doing so, I agree, contrary to what Sisi was saying, that a lot of misrepresentation. Bandits, terrorists kill Nigerians, in different parts, But it is wrong to say that in Nigeria there is a deliberate policy, like Trump and his are saying wrongly that there is a deliberate policy of Nigeria to kill. That Christians are killed as a state policy. That's not like that in Nigeria. And this is the kind of thing that people go to American Congress to go and say.
That's not what the Trump administration is saying.
No, what people in Trump are saying that in Nigeria, that Christians are killed, by criminals. Yes. Just as people non-Christians are also killed by these criminals,
Yeah.
So, and that is the problem that we have as a nation.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing from saying that it's a state policy, or in any way, or that is condoned by the Nigerian state at any point in history, that people of any particular religion, is killed. So in the way we portray the problem, yes, we must care about the problem, but we must portray it, correctly.
This is a big topic.
Yes, no, it's wrong. Yes. So people should not be going to America to go and discuss our problems.
No, they can go
we discuss
anywhere.
our problems
Let
here.
them just present
America
their
has its own
cases,
problems here.
In a factual manner.
And to me, there is no basis for it.
Well, that's an
America has its own
argument that we
problems.
could take
Thank you so
for
much.
that in the future. I'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Komolafe, for joining us on the Sunday morning show this morning. Hope we see you next week.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
will.
Thank you so much.
All right, that brings us to the end of the show today. Thank you for watching. I'm Steve Ayorinde.
And I'm Kachi Ofia. It's been a great thrill sharing this wonderful experience with you. Do have an awesome week.
And I'm Oji Okwe from our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria. Enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.